All right, let's get right into it. For the last few years, whenever we've talked about AI, the story has always been about these massive, powerful models living up in the cloud. But you know what? A huge shift is happening right now. A change that's taking all that incredible power out of the giant data centers and putting it right into the palm of your hand.
And yeah, that's really the heart of what we're digging into today. The most important, most game-changing trend in artificial intelligence isn't about getting bigger anymore. It's about getting smaller, a whole lot smarter, and way, way more personal.
So to really get where we're going, we first have to look back at where we've been. And for the last, half decade or so, AI development has been this flat-out arms race. And it was all driven by one very simple philosophy. Bigger is always better. And wow, this timeline just lays it all out, doesn't it? The sheer scale of this race is wild. We started in 2019 with GPT-2. It had 1.5 billion parameters, which, back then, was absolutely mind-blowing. But then, just 1 year later, GPT-3 comes along and jumps to 175 billion. Then by 2022, you see these models like Palm hitting 540 billion parameters. I mean, the growth has been just completely exponential, with every new model just trying to outmuscle the last one in raw size.
But it turns out there's a catch. Of course, there's a catch. This relentless chase for bigger and bigger models created a whole new set of problems. These kind of hidden costs that started popping up when companies actually tried to use these super genius AIs for normal everyday things.
And this brings us to a really key idea, the generalist tax. Think of it like this. Using a super genius AI that has read the entire internet, just to summarize a simple email, it's like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Sure, it'll get the job done, but it's unbelievably inefficient and it's really, really expensive.
And that tax has some pretty shocking real-world consequences. Get this, a staggering 95% of corporate AI projects never actually become a real product. They just get stuck in the lab because the cost and the inefficiency of using these giant one-size-fits-all models just doesn't make any economic sense when you try to scale it up. And to put a really scary number on it, one company figured out that a single high-volume AI feature, think like a customer service chatbot, could end up costing them $10 million a year, just in processing fees. All of a sudden, that generalist tax isn't just a concept, it's a massive financial wall.
So for you, the actual user, this whole reliance on giant cloud AI creates four major headaches. First, there's latency. That's the annoying lag while your request travels to a data center and back. Then there's the cost, which is obviously huge. Third, and this is a big one, privacy. Your personal data has to leave your device. And finally, availability. No internet connection? Well, then your AI just doesn't work, period.
So with all these problems piling up, what's the answer? Well, to get around these hurdles, the industry started cooking up a whole new class of AI. Smaller, much more efficient models that are designed to be specialists, not generalists.
And we call them small language models, or SLMs. Now, unlike their giant cousins living in data centers, these are lean, mean, efficient AIs built specifically to run locally, right on your phone or your laptop. They're not trying to know everything in the universe. They're designed to be exceptionally good at just a few things. This table just makes the difference crystal clear, doesn't it? Where a big LLM has over 100 billion parameters and needs a whole data center to even breathe, an SLM is literally 1,000 times smaller and can run on the hardware you already have. And that means it's faster, it's dramatically cheaper, and, this is so important, your data stays on your device, where it belongs.
So you're probably wondering, how do they pack so much intelligence into such a tiny package? Well, it's a whole bunch of clever tricks. They're trained on smaller but much, much higher quality data. They also learn through a process called distillation, where a massive teacher model basically tutors a smaller student model on all its most important lessons. And then finally, they use all these advanced compression techniques to shrink themselves down without losing their core skills.
Now, this move to smaller models isn't just a software thing. Oh no, it's happening at the same time as a total revolution in the hardware that's already in our pockets and on our desks. Our devices are literally being rebuilt for this new age of personal AI.
And the key piece of this whole puzzle is the NPU, the neural processing unit. The best way to think about it is like a special AI calculator built right into your device's main chip. It's designed to do just one thing, run AI tasks, and to do it incredibly fast without completely destroying your battery life.
And right now, all the big chip makers are in their own arms race, but this time, it's all about NPUs.
You've got Intel, AMD, Qualcomm. They're all battling to cram more and more AI performance, measured in TOPS, or trillions of operations per second, right onto their chips. This isn't some niche feature anymore. It is the new benchmark for what makes a device powerful.
But here's the thing, raw processing power isn't the whole story. See, to run an AI model, you've got to constantly feed it data from your device's memory to the processor. The speed of that connection is called memory bandwidth. You can think of it like a data highway. The wider the highway, the faster the information can flow. And this right here, this is the single biggest roadblock for on-device AI. A high-end data center GPU has a data highway that's about 40 times wider than the one in your phone or laptop. That massive gap is exactly why these SLMs have to be so small and efficient. They're literally designed from the ground up to run smoothly on the narrower data highways of our personal devices.
Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. What is this massive shift from giant cloud models to these little specialized on-device models? What does it actually mean for you and how you use tech every single day?
First things first, the giant cloud-based models, they are not going away. Not at all. They're still going to be the best tool for those heavy-duty jobs, like writing a novel, doing complex scientific research, or crunching huge amounts of business data. For those big blue-sky creative tasks, you're still going to turn to the cloud castle.
But for pretty much everything else, all the daily practical stuff, the Pocket Powerhouse is going to win hands down. We're talking about instantly summarizing an email thread without an internet connection, or real-time language translation happening right on your phone, or managing sensitive financial data that never ever has to leave your device. That's the game changer. This just fundamentally changes our experience. We're moving from an AI that only works when you have Wi-Fi to one that's always on, always available. We're going from generic answers pulled from the web to truly personalized help that actually understands your context. And maybe most importantly, we are shifting from a model where you share your data by default to one where it's private by default.
So, to wrap it all up, the future of AI isn't this one single giant brain sitting in the cloud somewhere. Nope. It's a distributed, diverse ecosystem of millions of tiny, specialized, smart assistants working for us, privately and efficiently, right where we are. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most critical question. This whole shift puts incredible power directly into our hands, but it also opens up a whole new can of worms about things like security and governance and control. As AI becomes this deeply personal thing, figuring out who gets to set the rules is going to be more important than ever.